So today we're going to talk about how to engage in the moments of play, and engage is a really important word there because it's just everybody plays differently and we engage differently. So I will use this word a lot. And I'm going to be talking about the program which I created. It's called Bricks for Better Brains. And it has two parts, but we'll get to that. This will be about how to engage people living with dementia in play. So as I'm Natalia Kasperovich, I'm here as a gerontology professional. Gerontology is a science about aging. So I wear many hats. I'm formerly chemical engineer, I'm homeschooling parent, and obviously I like Legos. So, and I think Lego products are awesome, and we all should use them. All ages should use them, and all abilities should use them. That's why I created Bricks for Better Brains. So let's do a little warm-up, and I gave for most of you a cup with the bricks, and I ask you to just connect these 6 bricks together any way you want. And we'll do it for a couple of minutes. Then you do one time, break it off, and do the different. And for audience, we have 6 2x4 bricks, and we are just connecting them any way people want. So you can put them perfectly on top of each other. You can put them the way that one brick sticks out or below, or turn it 90 degrees, whatever works for you. And you keep them, please, and take them home, and this will be good for, like, people say keep it to next to your computer, so you work with your hands when you have a block, so, or next to wherever is you're sitting most. There is 915 million combinations to put these 6 bricks together. So it will take you a lifetime to probably, actually they say, I think they calculate it's not lifetime. If you do it nonstop, it's 27 years of your life. just this, and we are not even counting to different colors. We're talking about the same color. So, yeah. How do you feel doing this challenge? Fun, exciting, confusing, all kinds of emotions, right? Now, and I'm sure that everybody worked with this puzzle differently. Somebody was more visual, somebody was more color-oriented, whatever, right? And that's what very important about working with older people, because unlike general public things, when we grow older, we become more unlike each other. People usually think, oh, old people are the same. It's absolutely opposite. All babies are kind of the same. All old people are very diverse in their experiences and knowledge and abilities. So think of this challenge as and how you engage in them. There are so many people who would want or might want to start with Lego, and they all see it differently. So, and that's what this presentation will be about. So as I said, the program is called Bricks for Better Brains. 2 notes for language. I use word bricks because it's not Lego endorsed. So everywhere I will be saying bricks, but I use Lego, or Duplo in this case, right? And also I would be using today word people living with dementia. That's very polite way or respectful way to talk about these people, because it's not people are living with dementia. They are not just reduced to dementia, right? So, and also their faces will be blurred for the most part, because I want to respect people identities. And also first I would call them by first letter name. So I blur the faces, but I was always nervous. Oh no, somebody will recognize them. That's why I don't give names. So it will be like person L or person. Yeah. So the entire program, Bricks for Better Brains, has these objectives: to connect whatever we do with previous knowledge and life experiences. That's how we engage people. Also, I explained benefits of cognitive health. This program encourages creativity in many ways, reinforces body-mind connection, strengthens social engagement and creating new experiences, create new opportunities for communication or for personal development, and also modifies, it's modifiable to meet skills and abilities. So there are two parts of the program. One is a project-based, where we do start talking about quilts, and then we imitate quilts, different quilts, different types of, and then we create, like on base plate, we create, each participant would create their own block, and then we, as in quilts, we connect them in the quilt, right? It's also very knowledge, like we learn a lot. We learn different parts of like Amish quilts, African American quilts, Victorian, whatever. But today I'm not talking about that part. That part is it uses 2x4 bricks for convenience of the participants. But today we are talking about the other part, people with dementia. And for people with dementia, it's experience-based. So at the end of the class, or at the end of the activity, what we create is meaningful mostly for the participant. And if I bring it here and show, if you don't know that it was person with dementia, you kind of think, so what? So it is really based on the moment people, and not even in the final product, because they might forget after 30 minutes of activity, they might forget they started it. So it's really in the moment activity. That's why I call it experience-based. And for people living with dementia, I use Duplo just because it's easier. If I have a big group, many of them can do 2x4. But if I have a big group, I don't have a capacity to watch how they use it, who put it wherever. So I use a big Duplo, which is good for safety, but it also limits the outcome because Duplo is created for children. And the last thing you want for older person, including person with dementia, is to reduce them to the child. So what I do, I remove all those funny faces, you know. Like I try to do something like a flower or something which could be not very child-based. It still does look like child-based, but I try to kind of make it a more respectful. So today we will be talking about Duplo and people living with dementia. So why Lego? I mean, first, I like Lego. And the second thing that people who are learning, studying play, there is one concept which I like very much, that the medium you use is very important. Some things invite you to play. Like think of you going in a park and kids are playing on the side and ball rolls to you in your way. Ball, in a way, invites you to play. You don't like, look at this. You probably have an innate want to kick it or throw it back to them. So I think that a Lego is this kind of medium, which invites you to play no matter what. Like if you have 2 bricks in your hands, Duplo or Lego, whatever, you just probably wouldn't like look at this. You'll want to do something with them. So that's why I think Lego, is godsend for all ages. And also, colors are very important for emotional regulation. I observed people using certain color scheme in 1 week, like bright red, yellow, and then they will tend to be in a green, yellow, more cool colors. And I don't have scientific proof, but I think it could be based on their emotional state at that moment. So, and Lego has beautiful colors. Here's a set on the left. It's a set for when we do quilts, and the right, what's the basic thing when we do, when I work with people with dementia. Very important part, tactile stimulation. There are 17,000 touch receptors and nerve endings in the palm of our hand, and I keep telling everywhere we don't use them, and they're all connected to the brain. We don't use them because nowadays we put hands and water flows, we put wave and paper towel goes out. We don't use handles sometimes, which is understandable. Many people don't play musical instrument. We don't use our hands enough. So whatever we can do to activate those 17,000 receptors is good, no matter what you do, even touching things. The other important part is people living with dementia usually are not allowed to do much. A lot of done for them. People, and that's understandable, don't get me wrong, there is a basis for that, but people feed them, people clean them, many times they don't have a choice what they wear, where they sit. So whatever could give them this kind of choice or respect of a choice is good. When we do the bricks, they have a choice how they do it. Even and you will see it later, if they want to do it or don't, and how do they play with this. It's not like we instruct them how to do it. We let them just put it in front in a very specific way, and we will talk about it later. And we let them do whatever they want. And science shows that multimodal activities are very important for our well-being. By multimodal, I mean like initiating a lot of connections in different systems, like sight, touch, sound, and also cognitive, of course, like thinking how you connect it or how you put them together. So when I start, I usually would demonstrate like how to put, many people wouldn't know actually, how you put one brick on top of the other. So I show them how to put one brick on top of the other, but that's about it. Then they're free to do what they want. Also very important to remember that they might not remember in 2 minutes what I showed them 2 minutes back. So if I see that they want to connect and they forgot how to do it, I'll get back and show it again. But this is there is need for observation, careful observation, who wants what. It's not like one recipe fits all. It's not like that. So, and when I say about not one recipe, now I'm going into the examples of some strategies I found out that work. And again, it works for some people and some days and doesn't work for others. So, but this is mostly what worked for the group, and I was teaching this for, it's 3 months each group, so I did it already 3 times, so 9 months each group. So it's kind of proven by my experience. So left side is participant L, and all he wanted to do is to know how things connect. And for that, I gave this piece, I will leave it here, this piece, which is kind of impossible not to connect. So if it's much more user-friendly to connect than two bricks, because you put it upside down, okay, this doesn't work. So it's kind of very handy to hold like this. And when you do this, you can really see how it goes together. So when this man would be in a class, I will put this close to him. And then another point I forgot to mention, do not overwhelm them with a variety. Put just a little bit and see how engaged. Like if somebody is working to connect, then you put this piece closer. If somebody wants to do a tower, we will go to that. You put kind of something more helpful to build a tower. But don't put entire tub in front of them. It's overwhelming. It's too much. Actually, it's overwhelming even for me. Like you put entire tub of Lego. Thank you very much. So this is, I would call this group engineer, how things connect. On the right side, we see a person who wanted to fill the space. You see her hands? She wanted to fill the space, and you see that some pieces are, and actually you see upside down, right side up, right? I mean, there's no right side, but you understand what I mean. The gray and brown piece is upside down. But you see also discarded pieces. The blue cone, it's not good for filling the space. So, and whatever treetop on the right, it's not good. It's not her piece. But I would put some of wrong pieces. I would put there for her to see, just to find what works for her. But I would make sure that she has enough to fill the space, which is brick, like you see what she ended up with in her hands. And also like the rounded side, the white piece, not good for her. Then the other part, which works magic for some people, is social interaction. A person, actually the same person on the same slides. This person was building the stories. She would put bricks and she would say, oh, this is my house, this is my pool, and you have somebody there listening to the story. And it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. And we go like, oh, this is UPS driver brought a package, and this is my package to my door. This is wonderful, but not many people will do this. And she has a staff member, it was in a living facility, a staff member would sit with her, listen for her story, and then at the end will tell story to everyone because it's so fascinating. It's like you can write a book about it. Word of caution about intergenerational. We had children visiting, which is great, but don't let children be first to the bricks, because they are so comfortable, they will grab them, and then your older person becomes the observer, which is good at some point. If that's the goal of the activity, that's great. But my goal was to have them work with bricks. So what we did, and it worked much better when children would come later, when this lady already built her story. And we will tell them, oh, this is her house, and then children will add something like, oh, here it is, whatever, let's put it there. So depending on the goal of your activity, don't mix them right away. Or don't mix them before the older person is ready to be a participant rather than observer. This was a story builder on the left, and children. That's a special story. This lady, when I first came there and we started the activity, she said me, "No way, I'm not touching it. My kids played with that." I said, okay. I had enough people around the table. I said, okay. So for 3 weeks, she would go around and see what we're doing, and we were having a lot of fun. And every time I say, "Do you want to join us?" "No." "Okay." "Do you want to?" "No." "Okay, fine." At week number 3, she said, "I'll try." So what I thought she needed is that something she can have a quick result, which is nice, right? Oh, nice looking, because she was kind of early on in her dementia journey. So what I gave her is this kind of stuff, a diagram. You can find it in any Duplo block. Again, grown-up gear. And then, based on diagram, we built the flower, which is kind of decent, right? I mean, actually, she built the cut. And you don't see, but she is smiling on the first photograph. Then, because there was such a quick result, she started adding to that. She put it on the plate. Again, some people would like to base on something. Some people like the small thing, but and the story builder needs a plate, definitely needs a plate. But this person wanted to add on this, so we put her thing, and then she has all the stuff. She didn't need me to limit her, so she started putting things, and she enjoyed just to mix them up and see how it is. And on the very right, you see what she ended up with in 1 hour. Without, like we started with a small thing, and she was so proud, and the top thing is like imitation of hers, minifigure. So, and after that, she would come every time. And we took pictures. We shared it with her family. So it was her very, look how, like, so it might take time to get them engaged. Then there could be people who are very specific. On the left side, you see the person. Okay, so I'm from Portland, from Oregon, Oregon ducks, green and yellow. That person on the left would only build with yellow and green. So I even stopped pushing towards her colored pieces. That was like her color scheme, no matter what the day. And her room was all green and yellow. She also had a very special piece reserved for her. It was duck. Nobody gets it. So, and I would keep it for the last moment, and I say, "Oh, this is no, this is her piece." So that we will always end with a duck on top, whatever she was building. So there could be color-specific or theme-specific people, right? A person on the right was also a challenge to engage. She is former scientist. She needed a goal. She needed a project. It's like mixing pieces, mixing colors was not for her. And she was really like sitting. She wouldn't say, "Oh, I'm going to my room." No, she was there, but she wouldn't engage. She would look around, and she doesn't see the reason why we're doing this, right? So it could be like a task. I created a task for her, build a tower, right? Then she started building a tower. And tower, okay, can you make it bigger? And then she built this all intricate tower, and you can see there's different pieces, there are holes. So that was a lot of mental activity to fit them in a tower which is not falling apart. So this is another way of your person living with dementia could engage if they need a project. or small project, right? And knowing that I was struggling to engage her, and I asked staff, what's her background? Could you tell me? Because it's not working. Oh, she was, I think she was in analytical chemistry, PhD, whatever, like taught in Oxford or something. Oh my God. So yes, she needed the project. Now, when I say engagement in the beginning, I really mean all kinds of engagement. Person on the left was not really building in classical sense. She would do small thing in the front, like the tree basin, but then she liked minifigures. And she would she would look what other people doing, but also she liked to arrange minifigures. And word of caution again, I tried to find minifigures with gray hair, not like if you can find them. All of this man is kind of gray hair, something kind more less childish, right? So she would be really like just touching things and moving them around. Person on the left, it's the left of yours. She was nonverbal by that time, and staff told that she is not doing anything at all. She is not coloring when they offered, she is not painting, just do something, so she would do something at least. So what we did with her, she connected two pieces, but it was really not what she wanted. So I built her this kind of thing with sticking pieces, and she was just touching it and turning it 90 degrees upside down. And they said that that was the best engagement that got out of her in days. So she was really engaging it this way. Going back to the duck, I keep special pieces for people that makes them special. So duck was for that person. There was the star. The star was a thing. The star was reserved for other gentlemen, and I had a lot of stars, but I would never give the star somebody else unless they really wanted, because star was reserved for him. It's his piece. Everybody absolutely loves the flowers. Glory to flowers. Thank you, Lego. It's awesome. It's not very childish, right? So flowers are good. And this, whatever, coral, I don't know, good too. Now, very special story. You see, face is not covered, finally. This is Diane. And I met Diane at my when I was doing it last time. I'm going to do it more, but my last run. And this picture was taken 2 weeks before Diane died. Diane she was not talking to, she was an interior designer. So as you see, she's really engaging in colors, flowers, and like arranging things pretty. And she would spend 20 minutes just to think how to put things together like this, moving them around. Very sweet. She didn't talk, but she was very sweet moving things and all that. I usually would give her big, very big, like this, like biggest Duplo base. And she would, after she finds what she wants. Actually, she got a star. Okay, she got a star. Actually, she never used the star. She liked the flowers and the corals and colors. She didn't want figures or whatever, or something which is not organic to her project. So after I came in 2 weeks, I missed her in one lesson, and then I came next week. I saw that she passed away, and there was a note and everything, and she left such joy for me working with her, So I wrote a letter to the staff and say, can I share it with your family? Because they might not know this side of her at all. And so, yes, they shared with her son. Her son was very, very grateful, and I sent him some video with Diane. So it was a good thing. And then I asked him, can I please use Diane's story in my presentation and show her face? He said, yes, please do that. So Diane is a very special person for me. The other thing is, in Bricks for Better Brains, is to, as I said, to give them some kind of control, but also try to do it meaningful. Like, not all that's, I don't know how to say meaningful for them, like say that we are going to connect, to see if these colors work. Something more respectful, something more appropriate for grown-up person. Then I always use a praise, but praise should be also very carefully calculated, because I liked how you use this piece, and there is a lot of ways people use a piece I would never use. And I really like, well, that's what I mean meaningful. I really like how they use this piece. And it shows when I say it to them, it shows that I mean it, right? I absolutely love how they combine colors, really. And with all my heart, I say, I really like how you combine your colors. Because if I'm just, good job, I don't think it's going to work. So this is very tall tower, or let's see if it's falling or if it's staying, and how we can do it taller, make it taller. Or did you live next to a tall tower or something like that to engage? Again, you might not get a full conversation, you might get a nod, but that's what we all we want. We want an engagement. Also keep an open mind, as I said. It could be that this time, the first time, like whatever, this time they built absolutely amazing structure. And they come next week, you expect them to do it again, and it's not happening. So it's just that moment and that day, that's it. And you did nothing wrong, and I did nothing wrong if it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, you wait for another week. It's okay. And some people who would be there, they might not be even building, they look at other people, which is already good. I would sometimes, when there was a person who would just sit there and watch what other people do, I have no idea what's going on in his mind. Maybe he thinks it's silly, maybe he thinks it's fine, I have no clue. But I would provide him with the stuff, he sits there, he touches things, he doesn't build, it's great with me. As soon as he's engaged, it's good with me. So keep an open mind and really feel, and you will probably, and share their accomplishments. When I still feel, sometimes when you communicate with person with dementia, you see they're kind of not with you, right? And then something happens with this, in my case, with 2 bricks, and light goes on. And that's it. I could do entire hour. If I see that in one person, I'm good. And you will see this moment, and that's your achievement. And you will feel it, and then you share it with the staff. We take a lot of pictures because we share it with family members. So it's kind of, and explain that their accomplishment is not what you see downstairs. Their accomplishment is this. So if we all have different abilities and ways to be creative. And, well, have fun. I do have, it is a lot of work for me because I have a big group usually. Like, I prefer 6, 7 Yeah, 6, 7, I still can see what they're doing, because not only I need to see if they take the pieces or put it in their mouth or not put it in their mouth, I also need to adjust to what their style is, right? So, I mean, theoretically, I can put bricks in 150 people, but I wouldn't be able to adjust it. Or I have, when I go to facilities, I have staff members to be there to help me with somebody who wants to help building or something. So, but mostly have fun. But my reward was always this spark. And as I said, if it happens in 1 person out of 6, I'm happy. That's what I like to do. So it's kind of Lego, it's play well, right? That's it. So do you have any questions, comments?
So when you kind of have 2 different things, the more structured quilting and then the more free form. Is there kind of a place in terms of like if you were, for instance, in that sort of that journey of dementia, like using like an MMSE to, is there kind of like a place where it's like, well, this is going to, aside from any dexterity issues. So like, for instance, the clock face portion of the test where they have to draw one, and you start seeing more dementia the more they can't quite get things. Is there kind of an area in there that it can be used as sort of a dividing line to determine if a person's more capable of doing the structural versus the free form?
It was never my intention. Again, I was in the point of when I created this project, it was for engagement. I'm moving now into the validation area where there could be this kind of scientific validation and approach. But it's another story. I'm now going to present this in gerontological conference to see if some scientists want to go this way. But because it's one person shop, it's kind of, my goal was to bring Lego to people, so I cannot answer that question.
Okay, so you kind of depend on staff to kind of tell you who might be better appropriate.
No,
for the 2 things,
I put things and I observe. Yeah. I put things and I observe who is doing what. As I said, who wants to build tower, who wants to connect. It's very, it's not that easily duplicatable, right? You need to know what you're looking for. That's why I'm here. I'm telling you, if you go to somebody, and so just that's what you might see, and that's how you can approach it. But you might see 900 million other ways they engage, and I could write a manual, but it won't be all inclusive manual.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, first virtual question, I will paraphrase. How do I get my grandma's care home to incorporate this program?
Let me make a presentation. No, I'm serious. I can help with, you need to talk to them. First, the care home they would need somebody to do it for them at least as demonstration. People at care homes are extremely busy, and they are underpaid. Let's just make it clear. So when you want to put extra thing like that on them, you need to really, really show that it will help them, and it will help residents, and it's better to be driven by family members or management. Because I absolutely don't blame people who do direct care, but they are not capable to do it unless it's really smoothly incorporated. To do that, you need to prove it or show it to them that works, like stories like that, or family members. Because in some cases, I would leave a bricks and for family visiting day, because they know how to do it. They will show families how you can do when you visit, right? Because you sit with them anyway when you come to visit. So it's really, you need to our online audience member, you need to show it to them that it's good. So far, as I said, there is not an article you can send to them. I'm writing white paper. I have white paper about small bricks, the quilts. I'm writing white paper for dementia, but again, there's no scientific article you can push in their face and say, I want to do that. It's just very beginning of the journey to do Lego for people living with dementia.
Okay, before the next virtual question, do we have another one in the room?
It wasn't actually a question, it was a follow-up to that. If a family member is looking for a gateway, looking to see if that care home, skilled nursing facility has either an activities coordinator or an activities director or occupational therapy, they're a good gatekeeper to bring that in because they have therapeutic modalities and it will work in really well. And it gives them something new that they may not have considered in their practice, if that makes sense. So they're like, people are seeing clinicians throughout the day, and so it can get worked into therapeutic practice or activities coordination for social engagement. So those professionals are a good gateway too.
And actually, when I said presentation, I can just do it online. If somebody wants to contact me and I can talk to you, I can talk to whoever you want. Just to explain that, that's great. Not maybe do the recipe.
I'm going to read the next one in its entirety. My father had dementia, and the most frustrating thing was that he would forget so quickly you could not have a conversation or watch a movie or read. Have you found that the tactile nature of building with bricks enabled them to intrinsically remember what they're doing because it's right in front of them? Or would they stop and not understand what they were doing and needed reinforcement from you?
Well, the most people I worked with, and you see on this slide, they were not verbal already, except for the person with the one who didn't want to do things. I can go back. All of these people were not verbal, all of them. Like maybe this person was speaking something. The person with dogs too. And that's about it. They don't talk. And the person who was building stories, yes, she was remembering her house, but this didn't bring them talking to me. They might remember, but how do I know, right? They don't verbalize with me whether they remember when they did this tower. It could be recollection of some memory or recollection of something, but there's no way of me knowing. Sometimes I saw a family member who was we doing activity, and there was a family member visiting his wife who was not in our class, and he was really eagerly watching us. So she was not in our class, so I gave him a pile and say, do you want to do it with her? And yes, he was doing it like, oh, it was Christmas time, there was some green, red and yellow and white. He was talking to her, she was nodding. Again, I have no idea what she remembers, or she just liked to talk to her loved one. I don't know. So I'm sorry to, it's a good thing, but I don't think it's a magic.
Have you done any work with other seniors that don't have dementia? I was thinking about starting an activity with more active senior communities. I don't work in that field, but love sharing Lego with others.
I did activity, as I said. It was a small bricks, which I'm not presenting here. I did it in Portland. I did it with people living independently, and we do bricks. We do quilts, right? So it's a great thing to do. But also the other thing is about Duplo. One lady, when she feels her hands are not good, she says, oh, give me big ones. I just want to play with them. I don't want to build a quilt. So yes, you can do it. Just for word of caution, do it meaningful for the person and connect with their previous experiences. I choose quilts because for me it was kind of blocks, and unfortunately, most of my participants are women. So quilts, I get the questions, what about guys? I don't know what I do about guys, but so yes, connect with their previous experiences and just celebrate small victories. Thank you.